Coach, what were your thoughts when you first heard that there were fans lined up about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning to get in and see the first practice?
People are excited about the Chargers, and this is the start of training camp, and there's nothing better in pro sports than training camp around your fans. And this is where you make a lot of memories happen, and I know that how important it is to our organization and our players, and we're hoping to give them a great 3 or 4 weeks of camp. We're working through this contract situation, and so just making sure that that gets situated here. He's out here doing all the walkthroughs. He's going to be working out, but we won't be going for that. Yeah, I mean we've got full respect for Derwin, his agent. He's one of the best in the business, and I think there's full respect on both sides, and they know how much we love Derwin. Derwin knows how much we love him. We're just working through that process here now, and we're going to let it take shape, and when it does, he'll be out there.
Is his shoulder fully healed then?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, Derwin's ready to go.
So once the contract gets done, he'll be fully
out there.
Hey, Coach, as you sent the players away for 6 weeks to kind of work on themselves and prepare themselves for the season, how did you prepare yourself for your second season in the NFL?
I think before we left for break, we were really connected on how we want this training camp to look, and I think that's the advantage of going into your second year with everybody, and I think you could tell by how today went. It's just so much crisper, so much more confidence in what you're doing. But I took a lot of time this summer and enjoyed my family. Tried to make a lot of memories and be around my boys and my nieces and all the people who are close to me, and we were ready for today, and I felt like our performance reflected it.
Was today kind of more about reinstalling what you guys laid in OTAs and minicamp, or are you guys already implementing new things?
Yeah, it's building off what we did in spring practice, with the OTAs and minicamp, and I think that's your goal as a coach is to have your install kind of happen 3 times before you play, and that's certainly our goal here. And I think the one thing after the spring is you get to assess that part of your operation, and you need to make a couple adjustments going into training camp if you can. But this is out here, guys playing fast and really playing football for the first time with their helmets on, pads, mano-a-mano, going full speed against each other, and that's a big part of coming back. Is just learning how to practice as a team, getting used to that physicality, and I thought we were off to a good start.
What did you see out of 28? The Spiller.
Isaiah, he's going to be in a full competition at running back. It's going to be a full competition, and it's not just going to be him as a running back. It's going to be him on special teams, and it's going to be who can be the most complete running back for our football team. And, I'm excited to see that competition take shape.
Kenneth started training camp on tough. Do you have any idea when we might see him back on the field?
There's not a timeline. I know that he's made a lot of progress over the summer. Not enough to start camp, but I think you'll see him at some point during training camp. And he's working hard, and he's feeling much closer. But I'm not going to put a timeline on it. I just think that he will be practicing at some point in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
And then just missing time in training camp, how do you think that'll affect his role? Because it's kind of been something that's existed throughout his career, just missing time and not being able to practice enough.
Daniel, I think it's a good question. I think it remains to be seen. I think that'll be up to Kenneth, how much he is able to take what he knows, obviously in the classroom and in the walkthroughs, and then being able to translate to the football field. But I know he's working hard, and he's got good insight.
Brandon, what do you like about your defensive energy on day one, especially from the new guys, JC and Khalil?
Yeah, those guys, they've played a lot of football, and I think that experience and that production breeds a lot of confidence. And I saw a group that was playing together today as a team, and that was what we were after, to put together a good team performance in all 3 phases. And I think you can have the right energy when you know what you're doing, you know how to do it and why it's important. And so that's what we're after as a staff, is making sure in all 3 phases that takes place, so you can get the fun and the energy of football.
Brandon, the right tackle competition, Storm and Trey. Obviously, you won't know a lot until pads come on. But just what is going to decide that competition between those 2 guys?
I think consistency in performance. I think being a complete tackle, run game, pass game, and we're going to get a very accurate evaluation from them, who they have to block every single day. And obviously, throughout the preseason and games, we're going to have a lot of opportunities to evaluate these guys. And I know that we have confidence in both of them, and it's going to be fun to see these guys compete. I think it's not just about them; it's how they play with the other 4 guys that are on their offensive line, and obviously the other players around them too. So they've worked really hard. I think you can see big changes in both of them, and they're both confident football players, and that's going to bring out the best of them.
Was today a good indication of like how you're going to split the reps up for the two of them? Like they're both going to get equal opportunity with the first team?
For sure. Yeah, we're definitely getting equal looks at it so that we can truly figure it out. And they both deserve that chance to truly compete. And I think there's a lot more of that as we go.
Coach, how have you seen Khalil Mack develop since you coached him in Chicago?
He's just wiser. He's the same personality-wise, but he's wiser. And so there's even more experience to draw from. But that player that was out there today is the player I'm used to seeing.
Coach, with the bolster defense this offseason, are you still going to be seeing that 4th and Staley kind of play calling?
Well, I think that, every year's a new season. I think that we have full confidence in our team and how we do things, and I think each of those things has a life of its own. That's what I said from the beginning. I know that kind of exploded last year, and I do think it's a positive thing for our team because, we want to be aggressive. We want to have a team that's fearless and it's not scared to meet a moment. But, every decision has a life of its own, and we're going to take it case by case. And we have a brand new team. So to say we're going to do it exactly like we did last year, that way.
Coach, as you mentioned, the 4th down stuff kind of exploded last season. And when you went back and did your evaluation of the entire season, what was a theme or a couple of things that kind of pointed out to you that maybe frustrated you about the way the season went?
Yeah, I didn't like the way, we finished the season not getting a chance to compete in the tournament. And that stayed with me ever since I walked across that field in the last game. I liked the way we competed as a team in the last 4 games, but we were 1-3. And that's the facts. We're going to finish our season, and I think that we're going to draw a lot of lessons from it.
Brandon, now with 1 year as a head coach in 4th downs, how much will it still be mainly on EPA and the spreadsheet, maybe a little more feel now that you've been in?
All of those decisions are about feel. All of them. They're about mindset, and then there's the math that's also a part of it, but it's more mindset than math. I can assure you that. And it's the way that we want to play as a team. And I think that we're going to try and get better as we go.
Hey, Coach, competition in the defensive line room, obviously Joe had to play today. You've got some young guys there. You're pushing for the spots. You've got Jerry, you've got Morgan, you've signed some new guys. Just how do you sort of see that room coming together and the competition there specifically?
Yeah, Daniel, great points. I think a lot of competition and guys competing for different roles. We normally have 5 active on game day, 5 or 6, and those spots are going to be important. Competing for roles and what exactly that looks like. We've got 4 to 6 weeks to figure it out, and I think we do have some good pieces that can play some unique roles for us, but that's going to take shape as we go, and we're going to know all that we need to know about these guys when we put pads on, who can sustain that consistency of performance, who can produce and make plays, and fortunately for us, we're going to have a great evaluation because our offensive line is one of the top lines in football.
Hey, Coach, can you talk about the camaraderie that's building here?
Yeah, I think we got a bunch of guys that really fit well together. I think our ownership, the Spanos family, Tom Telesco, JoJo Wood and Kevin Kelly, Ed McGuire, like our coaching staff, we brought in guys that really love this game, that have incredible makeup as competitors. And normally when you bring people like that together, then you will have that team spirit. You will have a team that believes in one another. And that's certainly what we're after. And to see it take shape out here in training camp on the first practice, I like that as a coach, and I expect it to continue to grow as we go.
And can you also speak on what it's like with these players playing for one another instead of themselves?
Yeah, they believe in our team. They believe in the Powder Blues, and that's something that is your most important job as a head coach is getting your team to believe in what you do and how you do it. And I know that our team really believes in playing for the Powder Blues, and and I think our whole organization is why they feel that way. It's not just coaches; it's everybody in our organization that comes together for these guys, and we expect that to reflect a performance. And I think today was off to a good start.
Hey, Coach, secondary you mentioned was a kind of a key focus that you had, especially with the depth. We saw Brandon Sebastian as well as some of the other guys making plays today. What are your kind of thoughts on that edge of the roster, kind of DB section specifically, how they do today?
You know how I feel about the secondary. feel like in the NFL you can't have enough secondary players, and I think that we've drafted and acquired a lot of really good secondary players that can play a lot of different roles for us, and there's going to be fierce competition in corner, safety, and then all those hybrid roles, star, money, and then in special teams. And when you bring quality DBs together, it's going to bring out the best in those guys and then our receivers and our team. And I think those guys are going to compete for roles, and they've got ability, and we're going to see if they can be consistent in their performance, those young guys.
And is there anything that they can do specifically to kind of get themselves ahead of the pack? Is there something you're looking for specifically for that group?
Yeah, toughness, physicality, discipline, consistency of those three things, and then performing, under pressure when we go against different people.
Speaking of Jackson,
Thanks, Brandon. Yeah, have a good day.
Thanks, Brandon.